Jaya Radha Madhava Punjabi Hari Jaya Radha
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jai Ganga Jai Ganga Jai Gauranita Jagajanita श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे मम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरो वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजाता सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे राम 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 हरे हरे ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 5, the chapter entitled The Cause of All Causes. Text number 13. Please repeat. Vilajyamanaya yasya स्थातुम् इक्षापथे अमुया विमोहिता विकथन्ते विमोहिता विकथन्ते ममाहम् इति दुर्धियः विलज्जमानया यस्य स्थातुम् इच्छापथे अमुया विमोहिता विकथन्ते ममाहम् इति दुर्धियः विलज्जमानया यस्य स्थातुम् इच्छापथे अमुया विमोहिता विकथन्ते ममाहम् इति दुर्धियः। माताजी विलज्जमानया यस्य स्थातुम् इच्छापते मुया विमोहिता विकथन्ते ममाहम् इति दुर्धियः। Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Abhay Charan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Vilajjamanaya, by one who is ashamed. Yasya, whose. Sthatum, to stay. Ikshapathe, in front. Amuya, by the bewildering energy. Vimohitaha, those who are bewildered. Vikatanthe, talk nonsense. Mama, it is mine. Aham, I'm everything. Iti, thus vituperating. Durthiyaha, thus ill-conceived. Translation: the illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position, but those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of it is I and it is mine. Purport: the invincibly powerful, deluding energy of the personality of Godhead, or the third energy representing Niscience, can bewilder the entire world of animation, but still she is not strong enough to be able to stand in front of the Supreme Lord. Niscience is behind the personality of Godhead, where she is powerful enough to mislead the living beings. And a primary symptom of bewildered persons is that they talk nonsense. Nonsensical talks are not supported by the principles of Vedic literatures, and first grade nonsense talk is it is I, it is mine. A godless civilization is exclusively conducted by such false ideas, and such persons, without any factual realization of God, accept a false God or falsely declare themselves to be God to mislead persons who are already bewildered by the deluding energy. Those who are before the Lord, however, and who surrender unto Him, cannot be influenced by the deluding energy. Therefore, they are free from the misconception of it is I, it is mine, and therefore they do not accept a false God or pose themselves as equal to the Supreme Lord. Identification of the bewildered person is distinctly given in this verse. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. That's the spirit. So, welcome to our morning discussion. The topic here is materially absorbed people speak only nonsense. So, that's the subject matter for discussion. So, in this verse, Brahma is guiding Narad Muni, who had some questions, some doubts, and in one sense, some confusion. He thought Brahma is end all and be all because the way Brahma has his powers, we don't know, but he's amazing. And God is out of picture, not visible. So, thus, one might conclude Brahma is end all and be all. Brahma Sarvamiti, like that. So, Narad Muni also apparently thought like that. Not that he was bewildered the way materialistic people get bewildered, but it's Lord's arrangement. And thereby he asked Brahmaji some questions which are there behind. And in this particular 13th verse, Brahmaji is clarifying. As such, he is clarifying before also. From ninth verse, he started speaking in this chapter only, in which he says, because of the Lord's inspiration, I am able to meditate on the prowess of the Lord. So Brahmaji expresses gratitude. Then he says to Narad Muni, your question is natural because people don't know about Lord and about my position. So that is in the 10th verse. 11th verse, I only recreate what he has already created. Lord does Sarga, primary creation, and Brahmaji, after Lord, does Visarga, secondary creation. Lord provides all ingredients, Brahmaji mixes them nicely and does all the secondary creation. So he says that in the 11th verse. 12th, he says, it is only by his Maya, Lord's Maya, that people call me the Supreme, the bewildering energy, illusory potency, external potency, Bahiranga Shakti, bewilders human beings, and they think Brahma only to be end all and be all. He is the creator, he is the end all, and there is nobody behind him. Like that, they think. Then in this verse, 13th verse, he's talking about identification of a bewildered person. And what is that identification? He talks nonsense. So we'll discuss a little bit about culture of speech also, uh, which I heard from His Holiness Bhakti Rasamru Swami Maharaj some years back in our Brahmachari class. We'll discuss that and some other things also. So Maharaj was telling that Vacho Vegam is the first way. Vacho Vegam Manasah Krodha Vegam Jivha Vegam Udara Upastha Vegam Etan Vegan Yum Vishaheta Dhiraha Sarvam Apimam Prithvim Sashishya. In the first verse of Shri Upadeshamrut, which Prabhupada translated, this is given by Srila Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada translated as the nectar of instruction. 11 verses in which the entire Vedic literature is summarized. Whatever the Vedas want to tell us, in one sense, Rupa Goswami, with his mm, grace, with his power, he gave it very succinctly in 11 verses only. So, first verse begins with 6 urges which all of us get impelled by, to lesser or bigger degree, but everybody gets impelled unless they are pure devotees. One of the 6 will always impel one, the urge to speak, vacho vegam, then urges of the mind, urges of the anger, and tongue, belly, genitals. So this push one, but one who controls all these 6 urges, he can make disciples all over planet earth. That's what Rupa Goswami says. So all the gurus in ISKCON following Srila Prabhupada's holy footsteps, they have controlled their 6 urges, and that's why they become the best guides to relieve us, to take us out of our all confusions. Mm. Because one who is certain himself is getting impelled or pushed by the urges, how could he help others to control their urges? So one who is guide, teacher, he should be out of the problem which the students have. Not the students have some problem, and the teacher also says, I have the similar problem. You have for 1 year, I have been having for 10 years. So he has to be free from all that. So Vachovekam is the first of the 6. And he says that one may be able to avoid eating, etc., but not speaking. Speaking is such an urge, one just can't resist. When it is about prasadam intake, food intake, or sexual urge, there is some limitation there. Prasadam, how much one will eat? 1 kg, 2 kg, 5 kg, 10 kg, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50. In case somebody has, some Maharathis are there in ISKCON, like that. One foreign devotee from Russia, in the Rath Yatra, they had arranged halwa, prasadam, in feast, like that. So he was so mesmerized by that halwa. He kept eating, eating, eating. And the server also was thinking how many times to serve. So he kept the bucket next to that Prabhu only because he had to leave, like that. And that Russian devotee ate halwa so much that he had terrible problem. He was catching his stomach and he was not able to sleep in the night. So then immediately they took him to hospital. Doctor said he has to be operated. The tract is all congested with halwa only. So they cut open his whole thing and removed the halwa like that and stitched back like that. So he was ready. But I heard the second part. One devotee who told, he said, you don't know the second part. 6 months later, the same brahmachari, same Russian devotee, he again ended up with the same problem. He again ate so much halwa like that. So, okay, one may eat a lot, But then there is such still some limit like that. And you eat gulab jamun, then you find some gulab jamuns are coming out of stomach also. So then you'll stop eating. There is some limit, but vacho vegam, there is no limit. You'll never know that I have done too much of speaking like that. We face that problem a lot. Speaking sometimes 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours a day. Preachers means speaking. That is the very important thing. Once Gaurang Prabhu was telling Radhesham Prabhu, throat is very important for me because I have to give so many classes. If throat goes sore, something problem happens, then I cannot render my service. So that is good. Preaching is the nice dovetailing of the Vacho Vegam, which will be purifying. Vacho Vegam will be degrading one, whereas speaking about Krishna, Krishna's glories, will purify one. Prabhupada says a preacher of Krishna consciousness is beyond the clutches of death. He speaks in this NOI 1 or NOI somewhere, second, third, somewhere he speaks. A preacher of Krishna Katha is beyond the clutches of death. Bhagavatam, first canto, third chapter says, Ayurharti Vaipumsam Udyan Astanchayan Aso Tasya Rute Yakshano Nita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. With every rising of the sun and setting of the sun. Now, in the morning I was chanting here only, 5:30 onwards we had been chanting. And at one particular point of time, I saw that all that part was shining with the sun rays. Sun rays came there. So I understood that sun has risen, maybe on eastern horizon. And we can immediately understand. Now sun is so much dazzling. But evening it will set. Again next day morning it will rise. Then set. With every rising and setting of the sun, one comes closer to death. We may celebrate our birthday, 10th birthday, 11th birthday, 12th, you know. So span is increasing, lifespan is increasing, but actually lifespan is not increasing, it is decreasing. In Marathi, it is called as Vad Divas, increase of the year. So when I don't know which year I was, I mean, how old I was, 7, 8 year old. My mother took me to my father. My father never remembered my birthday. But that particular year, that day, she took me and told my father that today is his birthday. Vad Divas. Immediately said, Vad Divas? Not Vad Divas. Ghat Divas. Imagine, I was hardly 7, 8, 10 year old like that. And my mother was shocked. My God, what is this? Not Vad Divas, Ghat Divas. His lifespan has decreased by 1 year. This is what medicines I got from my father from my childhood only. Very heavy philosophical dose. That one can never be happy in family life. My brahmachari seeds were sown by my father only. I don't know whether he did Garbhadan or not, but at least after my birth, he did tremendous Garbhadan for me. Then next year again, 1 year later on my birthday, again my mother took me to my father and said, today is his birthday. Again the same thing. He said, not Vad Divas, Ghata Divas. And he was very serious in his tone. And I was thinking, and my mother thought that this was like a cursing my son only on his birthday. Father only saying, his lifespan is decreasing. If he keeps cursing like this, maybe my son will die early. So next third year, I don't remember only she taking me to my father. Never it happened again like that. So life certainly reduces with rising and setting of the sun, as Bhagavatam, these two lines say. But next says, Tasya Rute Yakshanonita. Except Rute, except for that person who always speaks about the Lord. Uttama Shloka Vartaya. When he's speaking or hearing about the Lord, he doesn't come closer to death with every rising and setting of the sun. He comes closer to the Supreme Lord, to his lotus feet. So Vachovegam is such that one will not know that he has done too much. He has wasted his time a lot. But it is said that perfection of speech is to always speak about Krishna. Bhagavatam describes fifth chapter, I believe, 10th verse and all. Vyasdev is telling, Na yadvachas chitra padam harer yasho jagat pavitram pragurnita kurhichid tadvaya samtirtam ushanti manasa nayatra hamsa niramanti ushikshaya. So he's saying that those literatures which are filled with all obnoxious things and not talking about Krishna's name, fame, qualities, pastime. They are unto place of pilgrimage. They are like unto place of pilgrimage. And only those who are very dirty minded, whose conscience are very polluted, they are the ones who read such kind of literatures. And that sports, and then politics, and business India, and so many literatures which don't talk about Krishna's name, fame, qualities, and pastimes. They're all polluted. And what to speak of porn movies and porn, whatever, magazines, all dirty, contaminating the already contaminated consciousness of conditioned souls. It's very bad. On the contrary, he says, तद्वाग् विसर्गो जनताग विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबध्यवत्यपि नमान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवा. This is a glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. On the contrary, on the other side, that literature which is filled with Krishna's name, fame, qualities, pastime is such an amazing creation. And it is for swan-like people, not for crow. The first literature, dirty stuff, that is all for crow-minded mentality people. But this is for swan mentality people who are very pure. Swans you will never find in a dirty thing, whereas the crows will be found on the garbage dump. They'll be all sitting and they'll be poking in the dead rat's stomach and taking out the intestine and eating that. It's very dirty. Cows and buffaloes, both give milk, both give white milk only, but there is gulf of difference. Buffalo is in the mode of ignorance, cow is in the mode of goodness. Cow you will never find going in the gutter and sitting, whereas buffaloes will be very peacefully sitting there. They're very, their conscience is very down. Cow has very pure goodness, conscious is in the mode of goodness. So that literature, even if irregularly composed, there are some defects in it. Still, those who are very honest, they accept it thoroughly. They don't see those superficial, whatever, not exactly drawbacks, but something here and there. That is not to be seen. As Rupa Goswami also says, Gangam Basam na Kalu Budbuddha Fena Panke. Ganges water, if you are taking bath, and sometimes we find Budbud, that means, what do you call? Bubbles are there. So that is one impurity. Bubble in water is an impurity. So there is some air somehow inside. So that has come out in the form of bubble. So in Ganges water, there may be bubbles seen sometimes. Budbud, fain. Sometimes there may be foam. That is another impurity in water. That also might be seen in Ganges water. Or Pankai, muddy water. Ganges water may be sometimes muddy because somebody has shaken it too much and all that. But all these three don't reduce the glories of Ganges water because Brahma Dravatam, it's a spiritual water. Like Brahma Muhurta. In the daytime also we have Muhurtas, but that is not spiritual Muhurta. But in the morning hours, something like 1.5 hour before sunrise, 4:30 onwards. So these are spiritual hours. Any spiritual activity done in that time will give tremendous results. So Brahma Dravatvam Apagachati Nira Dharmai. Ganges is coming from the lotus feet of Lord Vamandev. Today we are celebrating Vaman Dwadashi. So it is not some ordinary water of this world. For that matter, all the rivers in India are very much sacred, worshipable. Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Godavari, Kaveri, Narmada, Sindhu, and all that. But Ganges is still very special, coming directly from the lotus feet of Lord Vamandev. So thus, those who know, they don't see superficial defects in the waters of the Ganges in terms of bubbles, foam, or muddy water. So similarly, in Bhagavatam, sometimes there may be some discrepancy in the terms of some spelling mistake. Like Prabhupada did it, especially Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In 2 months it was done, so a lot of mistakes remained in that because there was hardly any time for editing. They did it. His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj says that 11 hours minimum I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita daily in those 2 months. And he says, for finding fault, mistake. Is there any spelling mistake, grammar mistake? Because he was in editing team, editor. So, but then still 2 months time for 17 volumes was too less a time. So there remained some defects. Maybe eventually BBT removed it. But even if those defects are there, there are no defects. That's not a problem. Just like on the moon, there are pock marks. Hmm. We see some kind of tree kind of black structure. Maybe there is a rabbit below. Some kind of structure is visible there and it is black also, not shining white like moon. But that doesn't lead or decrease the glory of moon. Moon is moon only. Better than millions of stars is one moon. Ekas Chandra Tamo Hanti Nachatara Sahasrashah. One moon dissipates darkness. Nachatara Sahasrashah. Not thousands of stars. Even if the on Amavasya night thousands of sky, thousands of stars are there, they won't be able to eradicate darkness. Whereas one moon without all the stars, if in case all the stars are covered by clouds, and only moon is shining, Purnima moon, then that is enough will dissipate all the darkness of the sky. So, like that, Vedic literatures have to be accepted. So, they talk purely about Krishna. So, then once Maharaj was telling that one devotee doctor was there in his clinic, another person or devotee went and he saw All the patients, they had their in thermometer in their mouth. Doctor gives no for checking your temperature in case you have fever or like that. So then the devotee was surprised. So many thermometers and they are all in the mouths of each patient. Then when his turn came, he met the doctor. He said, one thermometer is enough because that same thermometer will be used for next patient and the next patient. Why have you brought so many thermometers? He said, the moment the patients come here, immediately blah, 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 they speak all nonsense. So as soon as they come, immediately I tell them, put the thermometer in your mouth. I need to check you, know your temperature. Irrespective of whether the fever or whatever the disease. He says food, it's a part of his treatment. Every doctor has a special treatment. So they have to put the thermometer and they know my temperature is being getting calculated, calibrated. So they keep quiet also. Because with thermometer in mouth, how will you speak? So this is a technique. In case some doctor is here, you can adopt this policy. So a very good policy. They will not do anything. His our Bhaktivinoda Thakur says the urge to speak, if not control, leads to envy, vaira. Hmm? Envy increases if we keep speaking, 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 speaking. And so one should not speak too much, only when it is required. And that's why Maharaj was telling, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So if electric supply goes and what happened? How will supply went? Immediately material talk will begin. Though it is related to Katha, because we are eager to hear, so we might wonder why the supply went off. But things are beyond our control. Maharaj was telling that Facebook is very dangerous. Facebook is what? Tell others what is on your mind. So you keep portraying that, informing everyone. That is not required. And this Kali Yuga is Kalha Yuga, age of quarrel. It begins from criticism. Among Vaishnavas also, this is the biggest problem. Criticizing other Vaishnavas. We see faults in other Vaishnavas because faults are there in us, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. I see faults in others because I am honeycomb of faults. I see few faults in others because I am honeycomb of faults. That hexagonal honeycomb is many, 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 many pockets, maybe thousands. So I have many, many more faults. That's why I see faults in others. One who is very Krishna conscious, he never sees any fault in anyone, including devotees, and in anything also. There is no fault. Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. This world is perfect. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. From the complete person, Supreme Lord, complete wholes come out. So many universes and so many things within the universe. And still he remains complete. And everything in the creation is also complete. Prabhupada's famous statement in that Sri Shobnishad verse purport that all sorts of incompleteness is experienced due to the incomplete understanding of the complete whole. That's C and W capital. Complete and whole. Krishna is complete. And from him, all complete units come. So nothing is incomplete. Incomplete is our knowledge. We are having ignorance or we have lack of knowledge. So that's why we see this is the problem, that is the problem, here is the problem. And what about me? I don't have any problem. The only person free from all problems or faults is myself. Otherwise, everywhere faults, faults, faults. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan. So fault is in our vision because of our ignorance. So that has to be, ignorance has to be eradicated. So Maharaj was telling that devotee community means devotee culture. So you have here Bangalore, ISKCON, SJM, Sri Jagannath Mandir, devotee community consisting of students, working devotees, brahmacharis, grihasthas, prabhujis, matajis, children. So it's a devotee community, huge, whatever, thousands of devotees. So the culture of devotees should be there in such community. So Maharaj was saying culture is in all different aspects of life, food. So we take only Krishna Prasad, irrespective of whether we are students, working, brahmacharis, grihastha. Everybody should take only Prasad. So that is our culture. Vegetarian diet offered to Krishna. That only. And in vegetarian food, there are so many varieties. And all are okay. Our foreign devotees have that pasta and pizza and all that stuff. That is all okay. For them, it is okay. For us, We don't have to imitate all. So, I mean, 2008, when I had gone for one brahmachari camp in GV, Govardhan Eco Village. So, Gaur Gopal Prabhu said, Sundarshyam Prabhu, would you like to have pizza? I said, pizza? So what it is? I said, so pizza you don't know? And immediately he told all, hey, just see this Pune brahmachari. He doesn't know what is pizza. I first feed him pizza. So they immediately fresh, there was going on some. So I said, give little first time. So they gave me, and I put it in the mouth, and then he was looking at me, how I will be relishing, and I'll be like, wow, life is perfection, like that. And then he asked, how do you find? I said, it's okay. What? It's okay. What in this Pune brahmacharis? All Radhesham Bruce follows. Austere brahmachari. So, I did not want to cut our nose in a sense, cut a sorry figure. But then what to do? I could not appreciate it. So, miss, with all glory, it is prasad only. But I could not take full thing. So, but prasadam, we should take prasad. Dress. So we dress, Prabhuji should dress dhoti kurta and Mataji's dress, sari, and everybody wears tilak, kantimala should be there. Whatever short hair for Prabhuji's, for Mataji's, the hair should be braided and all that. So we have dress code. Anybody sees us out on the street, immediately he should be thinking, these are Hare Krishnas. Or at least they seem to be some kind of devotees. Lord Vishnu, Narayan, Ram, some devotee at least, those who don't know about ISKCON. But many know anyway. As soon as you are seen on street, irrespective of you who you are, immediately they should say Hare Krishna people, or Hare Krishna, like that. Then we have language. So devotees have Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance. This should not be just language, you should pay obeisances. It's not just a matter of language, it's pranam. Pranam is with body. And it's words also. So we have a particular language. I'm very fallen in our devotee community. Oh, I'm such a rich, like that. This we don't speak outside. In the company, if you speak like that, might as well will be removed from the job also. The boss will think he is too much, what you call, low spirited fellow. He should be like that. Then music. So we have music. We have classical music. We have Western music also. But Westerners are more into that. We have some blend of it, little bit here and there. But otherwise, classical music, and in that Hare Krishna Mahamantra we sing, bhajans we have, dance we have. That also in a typical way. Proper step we know. Right leg towards left, then left leg towards right, raising hands in the mood of surrender. So this is the dance. Then literature, we have Prabhupada given books, and then Acharya's books are there. So it's amazing. Morning I was quoting from Sri Bhajan Rasya. Recently I happened to read. I had read many years back, but I thought I don't remember much. So again I read, made some notes. So we should read this literature. This is all part of culture, Sanskriti. We'll come to that part little later. Then architecture. So like we have a temple. Some architecture. ISKCON temples are known. We have domes over the temple. That is traditional. Then flags are there on the top. We have bells, or we have some peculiar things are there. Particular then architecture. Then social dealings. How we deal with others. We say Hare Krishna when we meet each other. Some ways of conducting ourselves. Then agriculture. That is also related to field and all that. So culture means cult, means tilling, just like agriculture. So that field you till it, or sowing the seeds, etc. And also it is like refinement, becoming very refined gentleman. Prabhupada when asked, how do we know your follower in the midst of thousands of other people? Because he also might be dressed in shirt pant sometimes. So then how to know? Prabhupada said, my followers are perfect gentlemen. So even if 10,000 people are there and one devotee only, hmm, whose kantimala is hidden and all, tilak is not visible. So still by his behavior, refined behavior, it will be understood he is a devotee in ISKCON. So we all have a very high responsibility of behaving in a very refined way, a very cultured way. Once His Holiness Satrup Das Goswami Maharaj had a connecting flight at some airport, but first flight became late. So Maharaj was like, very desperate because he might lose the connecting flight. So he was in hurry and he rushed through. And when with his luggage, when he was rushing through, he happened to little bit push one old lady, means not purposefully, but it just happened. And he just went little ahead and immediately said, "Nah, what is this? This is what your culture teaches you." Because she saw he's a monk, he's having saffron dress. She did not know Hare Krishna, but she understood he's a monk. And she immediately said, does not your culture teach you proper manners? And Maharaj immediately, though he wanted to go quickly and catch that connecting flight. But then he stopped and said, "Sorry, madam. Actually, I have my connecting flight. This became late. Sorry, extremely sorry. I accept my fault." So then he was somewhat pacified. Then he moved forward. So we have a great responsibility. Otherwise, people will immediately, any flaw in us, immediately, Prabhupada will be blamed. This is how Swami Prabhupada's followers are, like that. They say what that Caesar's or what Tsar's wife should be above suspicion, or Caesar, I don't know what is it. Caesar, Caesar's wife. She is prominent or silent. Okay, Caesar's wife should be above suspicion. Some very great personality there. His even wife, she is not having official post, but she is his wife, so she should be above suspicion. So likewise, we are connected to Prabhupada, so we are expected to be very refined in our behavior, in our speech, ideally in our mind also, in our thoughts also. Then also culture means worship, that is tending for something. That is what is culture, Sanskriti. So there is a famous culture of many places like sport. It seems Australia is famous for its culture of sports. Then education. Pune is famous. In Marathi, it is called as Vidyeche Maherghar. Maherghar means Maika. Girl who gets married goes to her husband's place, but she sometimes goes to her mother's place. That is Maika for her. So Pune is called as Videsha Maharga. That means it's a hub of education, or it is a place of education. So many colleges. This was long before. Maybe now there are many more other places also. Maybe your Bangalore is hub of technology or IT industry and all that. So culture. So we all should be cultured. So Maharaj, you are talking about three things: Prakruti, Sanskruti, and Vikruti. Because kru word is there. Kru dhatu is there. To do. So to do with three things, he says Prakruti. Prakruti is basic nature. He gives example of wood. Some wood like we get from tree. Wood. So that is its Prakruti. Its basic nature. It's wood. Then Maharaj is telling that next is Sanskriti, refined culture. Sorry, refined nature. So refined nature means statue. From that wood, a sculptor will carve it into a nice form, some kind of form. So statue. That is Sanskriti. And Vikruti means degraded nature. Somebody broke that statue and all the pieces here and there lying. So that is Vikruti. So Prakruti, the basic nature. Then Sanskriti, reformed nature. And then Vikruti, distorted or degraded nature, refined nature and degraded nature. So we should do things in a very cultured way. So on time we should take prasadam and proper quantity. Atyahara prayasasya, prajal punyam, the six things which are unfavorable should be avoided. And we take only prasadam, and we don't just eat anytime, and we don't eat anything. So that is basically our Sanskriti. Some people have their Sanskriti. Different people have different Sanskriti, isn't it? Some people eat very late night. They go only for late night jobs, and then they reach home late, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, they're eating their dinner. Like that also people are there. Once I was traveling in the train and I had upper berth. I was sleeping, but somewhere in the midnight, lights were on. My sleep broke, and I was wondering who switched on light. No passenger came. What happened? So then I just looked below. There was one Muslim lady with her several children, boys and girls, and they were all eating. And then I watched, what is this time? 1:30 in the night. So I was wondering, is this lady with her children taking yesterday night's dinner or tomorrow morning's breakfast? What is she eating exactly? And I did not ask her. But what 1:30 in the night? What exactly was that? But people have that kind of culture also, though it is quite a vikruti. It's not good to eat in such hours, but people do eat also. Like we know Kashyap and Diti. She wanted children because all her co-wives, who were none other than her sisters only, who were married to Kashyap, they all had children except her. And she was sexually agitated also. She approached her husband in the evening hours after sunset and said, I also want child. Please satisfy me. Please give me. Then he said, no, this is not a good time for union. We should not unite because the consequences will be very dangerous. Then Shiva is wandering these hours with his associates. It will have serious consequences. But she did not listen only. She was impelled by sex desire. And he also was not very strong in his meditation, spiritual life. So he got carried away and they had union. Then after taking bath, he told wife was eager to know what would be the outcome. He said, because we united at the wrong moment, Lord Shiva is very angry, and two big demons will be born from your womb, who will destroy all the people and everything in the creation. She got shocked. She said, no, no, I don't want such children. Please take away this curse. Then he said, no, that cannot be undone. But don't worry, your grandson will be one thing, your sons will be killed by Lord Vishnu. Then she was happy, okay. And then second, your grandson will be a great devotee of the Lord, very much appreciated by all the saintly people. That is Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu's son. So you see, some cultured people have the time for union also. They know when to unite with their legally married wife. And after Garbhadan Sanskar only. But uncultured fellows, anytime, every time, like pigeons, 60 times in a day they have sex. They are cultured in that pigeon beast, that thing, but human beings are not cultured in their eating, sleeping, mating, depending, all topsy-turvy. We have the shift jobs in shifts. So person will go 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the night to job, and whole night is awake working because his boss is sitting in America or IT industry many times. He will be operating in his daytime, whereas the fellows in India, they are operating in the night time. They have to forgo their night sleep, and then morning 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock they'll come and sleep. So this kind of very distorted, what you call, nature, that is Vikruti. So we were having that kind of Vikruti earlier before coming to ISKCON. So now we are in Prakriti. We have come to our basic nature as human being. That's why four regulative principles don't make one a divine, pure devotee of the Lord. I mean, no meditating, no gambling, no illicit sex, not. These don't make one divine at all. They make one human beings, which is our original Prakriti. We are all born in human body. But when one follows these kind of things, meat eating, gambling, then he becomes less than animals also. So that's why from Vikruti we came to Prakriti, and in ISKCON we are taught now Sanskriti, a very cultured behavior, how to deal with each other, how to speak, and how to deal with outsiders, everyone, how to deal with women, how to deal with children, how to deal with people outside, and devotees, senior devotees, younger devotees, new devotees, our equals. All etiquettes are taught. So that is all part of Sanskriti, very cultured behavior. And that helps us to become very Krishna conscious. And in that, that means to become to become pure devotees. This will all make us pure devotees one point of time. And in that, speech matters a lot. That's why culture of speech is also there, how we speak. And in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 54th verse, Arjuna asks Krishna, Sitapragyasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sitadim kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Externally speaking, it appears like he asks, what is the language of a person who is well situated? Stita pragya, his intelligence is well fixed. So how does he speak? Sthitapragyasya ka bhasha? Does he speak Kannada, Telugu, Marathi, Hindi, English? Appears like that. Sthitapragyasya ka bhasha? कौन सी भाषा है आपकी? Samadhin की स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा? समाधिस्तस्य केशव. How does he sit in meditation? स्थितधिम किम प्रभाषेत किम आसीत व्रज? How does he walk? How does he talk? Like that. How does he walk? Hamsagati, Mayuragati, Vyagragati, Gajagati. Which gati? So it appears like that. And how does he sit? Does he sit in Sukhasan, Padmasan, Ardha Padmasan, Virasan, Vajrasan? No, these are superficial. And this is superficial understanding. Deeper understanding, Krishna knows what is the meaning. So then he speaks. How does one conduct himself? So in that purport, Prabhupada says, speech is the most important quality of any man, and means woman also, and is taken in a general way. How do we speak? Not that which language you speak and how, without any stammering, without spelling mistake, grammar mistake, and concisely you speak. Not that. It is all superficial. And how respectfully you speak. That will come little ahead also. So it is very important for us how we speak, all of us. And we speak more sometimes than actions. Hmm. So in either case, we have to be very careful how do we speak. So sutra for speech is speech in the mode of goodness. We are not pure devotees, we are sadhakas in the lower modes of passion and ignorance. Sometimes in passion, sometimes in ignorance, sometimes mixture of the two. So from there we have to elevate to the mode of goodness. And that Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita only. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyam hitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vangmayam tapa uchyate. The austerity of speech. He speaks in Bhagavad Gita in 14th chapter, 14th, huh? 17, yeah, 17th chapter. So in that he says, Anudvega karam vakyam. The speech that we have should not be agitating others. Udveg means agitate. Speak very, like Hitler would speak in a very agitating manner, and he would trigger all those Jews or whatever those people follows to be against Jews and kill them. We have to kill them. All such crazy fellows, fanatics, their speeches are very, very agitating. They will agitate the whole crowd in a wrong way. So the speech should not be like that. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam. One should speak truth. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. Ma bruyat, satyam apriyam. This is Vedic statement. Satyam bruyat. Always speak the truth. But truth is many times bitter. सत्य कड़वा होता है but speak the truth in a palatable way, in a nice way. Satyam bruyat priyam bruyat, it should be palatable also. Ma bruyat satyam apriyam, don't speak that truth which is unpalatable, which cannot be digested. We can see this in the example of Vidur, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. Yamaraj came in the form of Vidurji. Yamaraj is one of the 12 Mahajans. So when he came, when he had gone for pilgrimage during the 18 days of Battle of Kurukshetra, when he came back to get Dhritarashtra, he was very nicely welcomed by Yudhishthir, who was then the king of the entire world, and Uncle Vidur, who is pure devotee, who always helped us, is such a pure devotee of the Lord. So he received him very nicely, and he asked him, "So you went, my dear uncle, all over the place, India. So how are Yadus?" He asked. How is Krishna? How is Balaram? How are Yadus? Because they are relatives also, and they don't know of late because 18 days they were in this. So this is little later. Krishna also has gone by. So that time Krishna had left for spiritual world, and fratricidal war took place between the Yadus also. Yadu Vamshanas had happened, but he did not inform Yudhishthir, thinking that with the passage of time he will come to know. At this time, when it's a happy moment, they are receiving me so nicely. They were in separation from me and they are meeting me. They're very happy. If I just tell them Krishna has left this planet, it will be devastation for Yudhishthir. In fact, just little later, when Arjun had gone to Dwarka and after 7 months he came with Yudhishthir Maharaj had seen so many bad omens in the sky, on the land, in the water, in the temples, and everywhere. He was very clear something very bad has happened. And in his thought processing only, he came to kind of conclusion maybe Krishna has left or what. Hmm? And sure enough, when Arjun came and he saw the pale face of Arjun, so morose, he asked him several questions. Could you not protect somebody who took shelter of you? Or did you speak harshly with some gentleman? And like that, and or our master, Lord has left for the spiritual world. And Arjun tells, yes, O Lord, my dear brother, Hariname Vanchito Rajan. Lord Hari has left us. And then as soon as Yudhishthir came to know, immediately he removed his crown, kept it on the table, removed his royal dress, and wore only simple white dhoti, not even kurta, one uttari, and then took one stick which was not straight stick, and immediately left for forest. Said, Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam, Govinda Virahena. This is a Rajarshi. For Krishna's sake, he uh, climbed, he ascended to the throne. And the moment Krishna left, immediately he left the throne with no second thought. Such a huge kingdom, what will happen? How will my four brothers handle it? What will Draupadi do? Nothing. For Krishna's sake, I became emperor. Now Krishna is not there, I'm leaving. So this kind of, so speak the truth and speak the truth in a palatable way, pleasing. Satyam priyam, it should be pleasing. And hitam, it should be very beneficial. So Adhyaya Bhyasanam. Regularly one should recite Vedic literature. So in our speeches also with devotees, irrespective of who the devotees, we should quote some verse or part of the verse. Our Prabhupada said, uh, like that. Immediately we should do it at the earliest. Not that, so Prabhu, how are you? And I'm fine. And yesterday, what a feast was there. I overate. And then I thought morning, let's go for morning walk with 16th round. So this is, so what verse will you quote from Vedic literature in your speech here? So this is not the way it should be. So Adhyaya Bhyasanam Chaiva means Swadhyay Abhyasanam should come regularly. You should recite Vedic literature, not while on the Vyasasan, off the Vyasasan. They say real preaching begins when you get off the Vyasasan. It's very easy to speak Krishna conscious way while on the Vyasasan, but when we get down, then we may get carried away. So the urge to speak leads to speech, and that speech leads to enmity if it is done in unhealthy way. So cultured means refined. Prakriti, Vikruti, Sanskriti. So Prakriti in this sense is material speech. When we speak materialistic things, then it is material speech. What is material speak? Speaking mundane subject matter when it is unnecessary. Where it is necessary, we may speak, just like in our one-time program on art of mind control. So how uncontrolled mind leads to devastation and disturbance. So we give whole statistics of as to what is happening in society, how the gun sale rate is increasing, how the suicide rate is increasing, what is the divorce rate in Australia, in Africa, in India. It looks like quite mundane. What have you got to do? And that too, if a brahmachari is speaking, "Arey, you are not married also. Why are you talking about? You're taking some pleasure or what? Telling how family life is useless only. Better remain brahmachari. Is it fanatic or what? No, it is not all that. It is basically leading to very powerful point. All these problems are because of uncontrolled mind. And the solution is controlled mind. And how to control the mind? Mantra, chanting the holy name of the Lord, and association, what goes in, what comes out, garbage in, garbage out, ego, or the other is good in, good out. So good things go inside, good things come out. What kind of literatures we read, what kind of culture we have, literature, all that discussion. So all that is later, but in the beginning, it appears quite mundane. Prabhupada was once with that, what is they call WWF or Formula One, that car race drivers, huh? F1 driver. So that fellow was introduced to Prabhupada. He has come to meet you. He's a F1 driver. Prabhupada said, "What is F1 driver?" Then he was told they have the fast car race and all. Prabhupada said, "Okay, so what all kind of cars you have?" And he was ecstatic. Wow. Then he told this model, that model. And then, are there some problem? Yeah, there are so many problems. What are the problems? Sometimes the tire bursts open and sometimes it hits and this. And Prabhupada went on hearing for 1 hour or so. And the devotees around you are wondering, what is this? He's speaking all Prajalpa and Prabhupada is inspiring him to he's asking question and he's answering. Prabhupada is asking question and that fellow is answering all about car related things. So they got little confused. But then after 1 hour of having heard him, then Prabhupada said, that's what the scriptures say. Our body is just like a car and driver is the soul. And then Prabhupada spoke for 1.5 hours, which he listened with great relish because Swamiji had heard me for 1 hour. So he was happily ready to listen anything Prabhupada said. Prabhupada preached to him for 1.5 hours. Then devotees understood, okay, Prabhupada was basically making relationship. जैसे ना दे घी टेढ़ी सीधी उंगली से ना निकले तो टेढ़ी उंगली से निकलने. So when relationship has to be made, you have to hook, put a hook there. Just like that, you and Hare Krishna and you live, relationship will not be formed. So Prabhupada listened to him also. We should do carefully. We are not proper. Otherwise, we will end up buying one race car in India on Bangalore roads. We'll go in some ditch only. So don't do that. So one should be careful. Prabhupada is Prabhupada. So material speech is Prakriti. Vikruti is bad or slang speech. They have materialistic people. When I was at the age of 17, after 12th standard, when I went in engineering college, hostel. So hostel culture, all North Indians and all that. So one Punjabi boy was there. I was in 211. He was somewhere 213 or something. So he would come, we made friends with each other. And then he would come and then I was, every sentence he would complete and he would give one gali. Sale, he would say. So I was wondering, Saleh, three, four of us were there. So I was wondering, of us, he certainly is not calling Saleh, means like a bastard or something like that, to himself. So of the three remaining, me included, whom is he referring to as bastard? Like that. So I could not understand because it was normal talk only. And again, next sentence he said again Saleh. Then third statement again Saleh. And every statement would end with Saleh. Just like in the writing, every statement has to be having what they call full stop. Hmm. So like that, for him, the sentence would not complete without that gali only. That slang he had learned in Punjabi. Boy. Then I understood, oh, this is his way of speaking only. That Saleh will come everywhere. So people have slangs in their speech. We should not use that. We have ISKCON jargons like it's in a transcendental or a bloop. eh? Bloops doesn't seem to be an English word in the English vocabulary. Maybe, I don't know. So devotees asked, what is bloop, Prabhupada? Prabhupada said, when you put a stone in the pond, what sound comes? Bloop, and the stone becomes invisible. So similarly, devotee also bloops. He goes in Maya and he becomes invisible. Blooping. So devotee, okay. Prabhupada was adding to their vocabulary. So we have some words added or anything in our language. It's a ISKCON specific. Only devotees understand that. Outsiders may not understand. When I told my cousin sister long before 25 years back that Krishna's activities are transcendental, and she said, "What is transcendental? Could you explain?" Divya, Divya. Then for that also I had to explain to her what is Divya exactly. So it takes time for people to understand. So then Maharaj was telling, wisdom means to know when to speak and when not to speak. This is wisdom. We may all know a lot, but that doesn't mean that we are wise. We may not have the wisdom, and we may speak unnecessarily where it is not required also. So we should know when to speak and when not to speak. That is wisdom. So Prabhupada, in Nectar of Instruction only, he gives the example of a toad, mm, frog. Frog in the rainy season will keep producing that sound, row, row, row. He wants to attract she frog for sex. But then what happens? Instead of she frog coming in the dark night, rainy night, the nearby snake who can't see but comes to know, okay, frog is there, this direction. And then frog comes and engulfs him. It swallows him. So like that, Kala Sarpa also swallows us up when we speak unnecessarily about mundane subject matter. If speaking, that we saw, I Harti by Pumsam, that should not be done. Our tongue, though inside mouth and without bones, invisible, the tongue moves the direction of our entire human body, which is compared to a boat. Tongue is compared to rudder, not radar, that thing, but rudder, R-U-D-D-E-R. Rudder is there at the bottom of a ship. If in Mayapur we go, wooden ships are there, and that driver, captain, he will have that iron rod. How many of you have seen? And the rod goes like this. Below the ship, it goes, below the boat. It goes inside the Ganges. And if you see at the bottom, where the rod ends, there will be triangular or rectangular flap, iron or wooden, something like that. So when this fellow moves the rod here in the boat, below what is happening, that flap, it moves accordingly because it is connected. And then the current of Ganges and the direction of this flap together, they change the direction of the whole boat, which is so heavy with 50, 100 passengers. But whole direction of the ship moves even against the stream of Ganges also, depending on how he's moving that. Similarly, our tongue doesn't have bones, but can break our bones. You give wrong words to others, give some gali, ill names to others, they can break the bones like that. So one has to be extremely careful. How does one utilize his tongue? So then it is said that the more one speaks, the more he has material desires. That is revealed. What happens? We have many material desires, and we cannot give shape to all those desires. So then we keep discussing. I am thinking of purchasing an iPhone, and but in that also there are two models, and I'm wondering. Yeah, speaks. His material desire is revealing. Hmm. So one should not have material desire, and that's why one can be silent. There is nothing to speak in one sense. And those who are devotees, they have Krishna conscious desire, so many things to tell to others, so many things to preach to others. So then we are very happy to tell. Yes, thank you for asking this question. I was waiting. When would you ask that question? Isn't it? Prabhupada in early days, he was himself serving, he was cooking, purchasing first of all, or rather for that matter, he was selling books. With the books sold, whatever money he would get, he would purchase grocery, etc. He would bring it to 26 Second Avenue. He would cook it. He would offer it to the Lord. He would serve the hippies at the end of the class. And at the end, they would eat and go away. All the plates, half finished and not properly finished. A lot of food, prasadam lying here and there. They did not have any culture. Prabhupada lifts all the plates. He takes them to the kitchen. He would wash all the plates like that. Alone, one man. How many of us have done all this? One man. And not one day, every day. That is founder Acharya. That's why Prabhupada is so special. We cannot repay him no matter what we try to do, but we do our humble part. So then one day, one hippie ate like anything, and his friend said, "Come on, let's go." He said, "You proceed, I will come." He could not tell them that I have eaten a lot. I don't have strength to get up. So then everybody left. He was all alone in that whole huge hall, 22nd Avenue, Ashley's gift store shop. So then he was looking. All plates are lying there, and food is lying here and there, and he was not having strength. So he just thought came to his mind: who cleans all this place? Who does? Every time we come to this program, place is very clean. Somebody must be cleaning. Who cleans? Here only Swamiji stays, and there is no servant here or maid servant here. So maybe he only cleans the whole area, these plates and all. Because every time it is clean only. Maybe could I assist him? Could I be washing these plates and floor all of the floor of the hall? He got just a thought, and the moment he got thought of serving, immediately he got strength to get up. He got up at once and in the kitchen says, Swamiji, who cleans all this area and everything? He said, I clean it. So if you don't mind, can I assist you? Can I clean this? Prabhupada said, yes, I was waiting for this. So you see, Prabhupada did not speak also. He went on. If they did not come forward, he would have done it for all these till 77, till his death only. So humble Prabhupada was. So one should not just keep speaking, speaking, speaking. That is not a good habit. Or if at all one has to speak, one should speak only about Krishna. That is very helpful. It delivers us from the cycle of birth and death and delivers all those who hear from us because it is all about Krishna Vani we are repeating. In Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, Krishna tells the demoniac people what is their nature, how do they speak, etc. So there he says that the demoniac person thinks, Idam adya maya labdham, imam prapse manoratham, idam astidam api me bhavishyati punardhanam, aso maya hatas shatru hanishye chaparan api, ishoroham aham bogi, siddhoham balavan sukhi, adyo abhijanam vanasmi, konyosti maya sadrusho maya, yaste dakshami modishya, iti agyana vimohita. One who is overpowered by agyan, ignorance, bewildered by Maya potency, what Brahmaji is telling Narad Muni here. How does he think or speak? Idam adya. I have accumulated so much of money today. Maya labdham. Imam prapse manoratham. And I will work hard and I will earn lot of more money. Idam astidam api me bhavishyati punardhanam. In future, I will have lot of money. Aso maya hato shatru. He was my enemy. I have killed him. Hanishye chapranapi. And other one more enemy is remaining. I'll kill him also. This is all his thought processing. Ishwara ham. I am controller. Aham bhogi. I am the enjoyer. Siddhoham. I am perfect. Balavan. I am very powerful. Sukhi. I am very happy. Adyo Abhijan Vanasmi. I am surrounded by aristocratic relatives. All my relatives are crorpatis, if not arabpatis and karabpatis. So he's very proud about that. Konyo asti maya sathadrusho maya. Who is there like me? Nobody like me. So their understanding is ekameva dvitiya. I am ekameva advitiya. Combined it becomes ekameva dvitiya. This phrase is only for Krishna. He's one without a second. In film songs you will find they say, Mai hi mai hu. दूसरा कोई नहीं. I am only there, nobody like me. The hero will say many times. Sometimes the villain also may say. Or for that matter, everybody is saying that. The whole world is saying the same thing only. I am very unique. I am what I am, and nobody is like me. I am greatest. So this is demoniac mentality. Yasya dakshami modisha iti agyana vimohita. So this is how the demoniac people think. It's a I-centered civilization, I-centered life. That's why this IIT, IIM, I square IT, triple IT, I, So I. So ahankar increases like anything in these institutes. Unless while studying there, one is connected to ISKCON devotees, regularly attending youth programs or weekly program, then it's okay. Then I am fallen soul. One devotee, the not Jagannath, what is his name? Jagannath Yatra Das, brahmachari in Nasik temple currently. So he has written one book, IAS, I am servant. He was in that, what they call Navodaya college, Navodaya schools, college, something like that. Recently, I came to know some kind of things are there like that. So Navodaya seems to be very famous in India. They have branches maybe all over. So he was student of such school somewhere in Maharashtra part. So then from childhood only, from fifth standard or somewhere, he developed a desire to become an IS officer, IS officer. But then eventually he came in touch with ISKCON devotees. and he could not become IS officer, but in ISKCON he learned we are all servants. I am a servant. So he wrote that book, and his biography is written over there. So IAS, that name of the book, IAS dash I am servant, like that. So he gifted me one because he knows me also. So I just went through what is there in the book, what photos. Then I came to know Navodaya Karke, something very much appreciated is there in the world in India. So it's very much I-centered. One should not be like that. It's called a me generation. One thing that whole world is rotating around me. In our childhood, we all have played that game of rotating around ourselves only. Some boys and girls, they are all rotating, rotating, rotating. After some time, our head is reeling, and then we stop, or we may fall on the ground. After falling on the ground, stopping also, we see whole playground, the school, building, and whatever is around, trees, they're all rotating around us. This is exactly same thing now also we are playing the same game now also. Not in ISKCON while dancing in Guru Puja in the middle. But 24 hours, this is the game we are playing. We sit down and we think whole HM temple is rotating around me only. I am very pivotal. Because of me, youth preaching is happening. Because of me, congregation preaching is happening. Because of me, Sunday program. Because of me, altar opens. Because of me, Lord gets bhoga. Because of me, Aarti happens. Because of me, hmm, I am the end all and be all. Like that. We have been rotating through millions of universes, through 84 lakh species of life. And when we come in human birth, then we think, yes, whole Bangalore is revolving around me. Whole India is revolving around me. I'm a great devotee. So this is not how it should be. At least one should not grossly speak in that way. That culture is taught in ISKCON. In the outside world, if you see in our early days, whether in college or corporate world, people speak, "Arre, I have decided or I have done this, and I boast like anything. They boast about their achievement. Sometimes they have not achieved, they tell lies also. You know, yesterday night I put Indian flag on the top of Mount Everest, and I came to job today morning. By the way, by what he came? By charter plane or helicopter or flying himself? So people boast like anything, but that is not how we do. We speak in a very cultured, and we even if we have done something, not that we think we have done something, Krishna used us as an instrument. Just like this microphone is an instrument, or some very nice handwriting is on the paper. The handwriting doesn't say I am so beautiful. Nor does the pen say, I am the one who wrote like this. No, neither the page, nor the ink, nor the pen are instrumental in that nice handwriting. The man who held that pen and wrote that, his handwriting. And even if not that pen, even if not that page, some other pen, still his handwriting is beautiful. So it will be beautiful only. Like Rupa Goswami's handwriting, like pearls, like that. So one should be very careful not to think that I am the doer or because of me things happen. I am just an instrument. Krishna's grace, he used me. Prabhupada thought like that. That Lord Chaitanya's grace that he accepted me. So that's how one should lead. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary writes about this purport. Are those who respect you as the bewildered are bewildered by Maya? And Brahmaji says, yes, those who give respect and receive respect without reference to the Lord are bewildered by Maya, who is situated at the back of the Lord beyond his future. That's why we are all taught, in our Krishna consciousness, that Prabhu, it's all your mercy, Prabhupada's mercy, Guru Maharaj's mercy, Krishna's mercy, isn't it? We all say like that. So internally we think, what their mercy? Actually, I was in action. If I would not have done book distribution, if I would not have gone out, everybody had left the plan only because the vehicle was punctured, nobody was ready to go. Then I was the one who set it right and we went. Then the books went out. So it was me. Like that, even if thought is there, we should not speak like that. We should little bit control our false ego. Otherwise, the other devotee, senior devotee will control it by telling you are a rascal number one. So in this connection, Kanak Das, when he was there in his Gurukul, and once there was discussion with his other Brahmin Guru brother, what do you God brothers, and some discussion, and one Brahmin God brother said, I'm going back to Godhead, Vaikuntha, after this life, such a life. Like that. And then everybody applauded, wow, great, like that. And Kanak Das was very neutral. So he asked, are you not happy about that? He said, no, you are not going to Vaikuntha. So what? He was shocked. Openly, he said. Then Then he asked, what about this Brahmin, other friend? So no, he's also not going. Then he asked about third, and he's also, and all those who were present, he said no, no one. Then the person asked, what about our Guru Maharaj? Is he going back to God at Vaikuntha? He said, no, he will also not. They were shocked. My God, what audacity, arrogance. He's speaking like that. So they took him to Guru and said, this is what he says. That I am not going to Vaikuntha. He is not going. He is not. And even you are not going to Vaikuntha, Gurudev. Like that. So then Gurudev asked him, so if that is the case, what about you, Kanakdas? Are you going to Vaikuntha? Then he said that famous statement, if I can go, I may go. Now it seems a ridiculous statement. If I can go, I may go. What is this? No, this is had deeper meaning. If aham, I am Kanak Das or whatever, I am so and so. If I can go, which doesn't go away so easily. Every now and then we keep saying, I did that, I was there, I ate that person. So many things we say. So if I can go, I may go. This is his humility. If I will go, I will definitely go. If I goes, I will definitely go to Vaikuntha. But he's saying humility with humility. If I can go, I may go. So a lot of I comes in our speech. In the daytime, you can see. Hmm? It is I and it is mine. Aham and mameti. This is bodily conception. Anybody who's in bodily concept of life, he will use I a lot in boasting manner. I did it. I went for book distribution. So much I. And it is mine also. After I, then aham, then mameti. This is mine. This is my car. This is my house. This is my wife. These are my children. This is my office. Mine, so much. So aham and mama, these are revelation of one's bodily conception, but absorption in bodily conception. So one should be free and one should know everything belongs to Krishna. So all endeavors are for Krishna, everything for Krishna's pleasure, everything belongs to Krishna. That 5.29 peace formula. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantam picchati. Krishna is the bhokta, enjoyer of all the yagya, sacrifice, everything. All of us have some austerity in our life. We get up early in the morning. We may travel for preaching. So a lot of problems. But all are for Krishna only. Krishna is the enjoyer. That's why no matter how much ever we suffer in our austerities, we don't mind. Because Krishna is enjoying our sacrifices. He is the enjoyer. Bhoktaram yagya tapasa. Sarva lokamash. He is the owner. The whole property, this HM temple. In fact, whole Bangalore, whole India, and whole globe, and all the 14 planet system, this universe, and all the material and spiritual worlds, all belong to Krishna only. Yagyatapasam sarva lokameshwaram suhrudam sarva bhutanam. He is the friend of all. We may act as counselors, we may act as president, we may act as guides, mentors, but this is all on behalf of Krishna. Who is real friend? Suhrudam sarva bhutanam. He is such a friend that even if that another friend of his he goes into the gutter as a pig, still Krishna goes in his heart. We are at least not such teachers and mentors that will go inside, isn't it? Even parents may sometimes hesitate if the child falls in the gutter. They may not enter in gutter, they may catch his hand and take him out. It will take a bigger step to enter in the gutter and to take that child out. But Krishna is so amazing. He is there in the heart of dogs, hogs, camels, any kind of the worm in the stool, whole body all throughout in the stool. If you take out that worm in the stool, keep it outside, again it will start crawling towards stool only. Still, Krishna is mercifully residing in his heart. So he is only the best friend. And we act on his behalf as the friend of others. And we tell others, see, Krishna is your real friend. You may appreciate me for helping you in your devotional life, but actually I'm just an instrument. Krishna wants you to be delivered. Krishna wants you to accept bhakti. And Prabhupada and Krishna have just used me, though I'm not qualified actually. So like that, if we follow, then it is success. Then we make a lot of advancement, and then we help the whole world also to make advancement towards Krishna. So we take the blessings, the dust of the lotus feet of Kanakadas on our head, and we also want this to happen, that I should go in our from our life. If I can go, I may go. And if at all I is there, then I am a servant. I'm servant of the servant. Gopi Bhartur Padakamalyo or Dasa Dasa Dasa. That should be very clear. Anytime Maya overpowers, we'll think I am great and this is mine. Nothing is ours. Brahmachari should be very clear. Even our kurta, dhoti doesn't belong to us. Anytime temple authority will say, give that dhoti kurta. Okay, don't worry. We'll not make it naked. We'll give you gamcha. Okay, we have to give it because it doesn't belong to us. We have not earned any money. We depend on Gaurangi Bangaloreshwar only. They own entire Bangalore, so Bangaloreshwar is it. And we own them. Means in a sense, we are owned by them by serving them. So they give us dhoti kurta, they give us prasad, they give us some room or some vehicle, but doesn't belong to us at all. And Grahastha should also be very clear. With my death, all my car, my house, my wife, everything remains there, and I, the naked soul, goes to the next destination. So that should be very clear at every moment. Then we can practice Krishna consciousness very peacefully and help others also to advance. Okay, any question? Yes.
Really, my question is that well, mind always keeps disturbing, uh, always giving provocative thoughts or build-up of the thoughts. Always. I always try to control it by every watching the content. But sometimes the thought comes that I, let's say, if I get well, the, in the flow of my thought, is what it- so there is always a fear that
Flow of my thought means
if I agree with mind, if I agree, what
that's why we stay with devotees. That is required. Our gross body should be as far as possible with devotees. When at times gross body cannot be with devotees, at least our subtle body should be with devotees, mind, intelligence, and also. So, okay, my Guru Maharaj ordered me this. And I'm on mission. Even if I'm in the company working for so-called boss, but actually I'm not considering him my boss. My boss is my spiritual master and Prabhupada. They have told me earn money some honest way and growth or whatever it is. So that's it. Otherwise, I'm not interested in all this job. And so much dedication, surrendered soul one should be. Then the mind will not trouble. And one should hear morning program should be very strong. Morning 4 o'clock max. We should get up. We should take bath. We should chant with devotees, dance. Nacho gao bhakta sange karo sankirtan. We should preach in the school, college, or company. Also, you should try to preach. If you are a very bold devotee, you will preach. Why to worry, isn't it? Prabhupada, you see, Prabhupada went to America. God, brothers, sannyasis told, start learning wearing coat suit and eat with fork and spoon. Because you are going to America to preach. Those people are accustomed to all this. If you are eating with hand, it will look such a low class thing. They will not accept message from you. Prabhupada said, who cares? I am not there to learn their culture. I am going there to teach Vedic culture, Krishna conscious culture. So Prabhupada not even once ate with the spoon in the Western culture. He ate with hand. He never wear a coat and all that. He wear dhoti kurta only. So we should be bold. To the degree you are bold, you can preach. So when you are preaching, best way of defense is to attack. So when you are preaching, you cannot be attacked by Maya. When you stop preaching, you will be susceptible for Maya's attack. So when you are not preaching, in case you are not so strong, then at least then keep the Guru Vani in the mind and act on it. Then you can be saved. Otherwise, Maya is very powerful. Anybody, anytime could be attacked by Maya. Yes. Any other? Yes. Krupa Krupa. Hare Krishna.
you told about the every eclipse that is touched.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that. Bhaktivinoda Prabhu can tell us. Hare Krishna.
How is it connected? Start speaking.
Just like you see Duryodhan, I have been recently, I at times read Mahabharata also. So when Indraprastha was built by Pandavas, they were given very third class bhumi, Khandavan, which was barren land. But because Krishna is there with Arjun and with Pandavas, so they converted into beautiful Indraprastha, such high class. And then he also, our Yudhishthir wanted to declare himself as emperor to that, so that Krishna will be worshipped.